So, Ronak, you're from Delhi.
Yes, sir.
What are the common security challenges in Delhi?
So first of all, the crime rates that has been increasing day by day, and another threat is the communal riots that we have witnessed last year, and the security challenge we can consider pollution as well.
Why pollution is a security challenge?
Because of pollution, there is the people there is some lockdowns and schools have been shut, and people are being unemployed because of the there is ban on the construction. So this might lead some tension in the society.
What are the common threats to Delhi?
So as I've mentioned, the security threats, these are the crimes.
Why it is the capital of India, many respected dignitaries are here. So attacks can take place on them?
Yes, sir. As we have witnessed recent attack in the court, Rohini Court complex.
Yes, so even those are crimes, right? And also parliament attack also we have seen in
Yes,
Delhi?
sir.
Yes, correct. So you earlier said that there has been increasing crimes day by day,
Yes.
right? So is it because of better reporting or in actuality the crimes have been increasing?
So this is one of the factors that the reporting has improved. And also as we are living in urban spaces, people are suffering from the hypertension and the depression. So as according to the report, the crimes has been committed for a very trivial issues. For example, the deaths have been reported for a parking issue, or they have been for some very trivial issues like the road rage cases we have been witnessing.
Your father is in Delhi police?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So what are the common problems in the working of Delhi police as a
Yes.
force? Like what improvements would you suggest, and what are the problems and what suggestions will you give?
So the problems are basically that the number of personnels are inadequate. As according to the UN, there has to be like 222 constables per lakh people, whereas in Delhi it is just 183. So staff is very overburdened. That's why it has impacted the investigation of the crimes, and also the public and the police relation is not in a very good state. They have been it is generally alleged that the police is not very sensitive to the issue, and also as the crime rate has been increased, the cyber crime has been increasing. So the Delhi police is not very I should say very aware to handle how to handle these cases. So the suggestions that can be taken, the steps that can be taken to improve. First of all, we can increase the recruitment, and also we can modify the training procedure, and also we can have the regular kind of workshops for the gender sensitization, and also for the increasing the changing threats that we are facing in the form of the cyber crimes.
Okay. Should Delhi police be brought under Delhi government?
So in my opinion, it should not be, because as we know that Delhi is is capital of India, and it does not belong to the people of Delhi, and it also houses almost all the government offices, embassies. So from the security perspective, it would not be good if we give it to the state.
You have done BTech in which stream?
Computer science, sir.
So University of Delhi offers also BTech?
Yes, sir. So in 2013, that time government has introduced a 4-year program for all the courses. Like BA was also for 4 years. So all the BSc computer science was transformed into the BTech computer science.
Okay.
But after a year, it was rolled back due to the protest.
So very unique batch, right?
Yes, sir. Very privileged.
So you are happy with that?
Yes, sir. Because I have completed my BTech in just 24,000, 4 years included.
Yes. Where is this college located?
So it's in South Delhi,
South Delhi.
Chanakyapuri,
Okay.
where all the embassies are.
Okay. So you're a graduate in computer science.
Yes, sir.
Can you tell me some critical infrastructure which can be affected by cyber crimes?
Yes, sir. So as we have seen last year, that recently the Kundankulam nuclear power plant IT infrastructure was compromised due to cyber attack, and also Mumbai power cut we have seen, and all the other infrastructure that we have simply. If the communication lines were disrupted or the banking infrastructure were disrupted, it can have the cascading effect.
You are giving a lot of examples, but I just want you to list down some critical infrastructure.
Okay, sir.
Not what has already been affected, but what can be affected also.
Yes, sir. So first of all, the communication lines, the banking infrastructure, and the internet facilities that we are using, and the power lines that we have.
Okay. How is big data related to privacy?
Yes, sir. So as we all using social media, and it is we are generating a lot of data in the form of videos, pictures. So this is and all the data that we have, it is in the form of big data, because big data is something unstructured data. So that's
How do the companies use the big data?
so big data in itself is unstructured, but companies use it to derive the information, the trends. Like for example, if we are ordering from Zomato, they can analyze the trend that this person is using that kind of product. So we can get the customized ads related to our choices that we have made in the past.
Okay. You have also volunteered for Kalam Center.
Yes.
Can you tell me something about this NGO?
So this NGO promotes the youth participation in the governance, and its main focus is on the accessibility of the education.
And you also have done teaching.
Yes, sir.
Where do you teach, and like what is the age group that you teach?
Yes, sir. So through this NGO, I have visited many schools, that is in the slums area as well, and in the unauthorized colonies. So in this school, we just conduct various activities in which we interact with the students, and also we encourage them to we encourage them to focus on their dreams, and we show them the possibilities that they can dream of. For example, so like the students we met, they generally have very small dreams. So we, through pictures and the presentation, we encourage them to think big. And also we established libraries in these schools, Kalam libraries.
How was the funding done?
So that was the different section I was involved in.
You must
the
be
activities.
aware of that.
So I'm not aware about it.
So you don't want to take a guess.
Yes.
Anyways.
Ronak,
Yes, sir.
what is the difference between Android and iOS operating system?
So Android and iOS both are operating system of the mobile, and iOS belongs to the Apple company, whereas Android is an open source operating system, and it can be under the license. It can be modified and used for study purposes and for the research, whereas the iOS is not open source, and it is highly restricted to its user, and it can be changed only by the company itself.
What is this open source software?
Yes, sir. So the open source software code under the license can be used by anyone. It can be modified and can be used for other purposes. And so it is better because of this crowdsourcing kind of thing, the error in these codes are very less as compared to the software which are not open.
Then why are people crazy for Apple?
So because it's expensive and it provides more security, as the company says.
Okay. Company says, or it actually?
Sir, I haven't used the iOS, so I'm not having any experience.
Does Government of India having any policy regarding open source softwares?
Sorry, sir, I'm not able to recall, but recently Arogya Setu has been made open source.
What was the purpose of Arogya Setu?
So to maintain all the vaccination program and spread awareness for the COVID related information.
Only for vaccination and information, or for anything
And for
else?
the tracking, like if someone is affected is nearby you, so that people can isolate themselves and maintain a distance from that person.
You are from Maitri College.
Yes, sir.
Who was Maitri?
So she was an ancient Vedic philosopher.
What was her philosophy?
So sorry, I'm not able to recall right now.
Are you aware about Dvaitvad and Advaitvad?
Yes, sir, I have read it, but at this point of time, I'm not able to recall.
Okay. Why you chose CISF over other CAPFs?
Yes, sir. So because I'm living in a Delhi and I have seen CISF personnel in the metro, and also it has a very similar kind of job profile as of my father. So that's why I got some inclination towards CISF.
What is the mandate of CRPF?
Yes, sir. So the mandate of CRPF is to maintain law and order throughout the country, and it also conduct counter-insurgency operation in the left-wing extremism affected region. And also it provide security cover for the election in the disturbed area, and also it is used for the VIP protection as well.
Which VIP?
So,
Can
who
you
have
name?
perceived threats.
Can you name some VIPs?
So sorry, I'm not able to recall any name right now.
What is the mandate of BSF?
Yes. The BSF has a mandate to guard the borders along with countries along with the Pakistan and the Bangladesh. And during the peacetime, it gather intelligence and also promote sense of security among the border population. And during the wartime, it support the our Indian Army and also take care of the prisoners of war and guides the army as well.
And what is the mandate of SSB?
The SSB guards the borders with Bhutan and Nepal,
And ITBP?
the Indo-Tibetan border.
What is SPG?
A special protection group, and it provides security covers to the VIPs.
VIPs or only single person?
Sir, I'm not aware about this.
Okay. There are recent amendments in SPG bill. So
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Only the Prime Minister and its immediate family members would be getting protection.
what is PDG?
Parliament Duty Group. It is a specialized wing of the CRPF, which is providing protection to the Parliament.
And what is SDG?
Special Duty Group. It is also a specialized wing of the CRPF, and I know it's this much only, sir.
It secures the PM residence.
Okay.
And what is COBRA?
Yes, sir. The Cobra is commando. It is a specialized wing of the CRPF, which is highly trained in conducting the counter-insurgency operation in the left-wing extremist regions.
What is Marcos?
Sir, I have to read about it.
Okay. What is the difference between IB and RAW?
So the Intelligence Bureau provides gather intelligence and look after the internal security matters, whereas the RAW provides gathers intelligence and look after the external threats.
What is NTRO?
The National Technical Research Organization. It works under the PMO, if I'm not wrong, sir, and it look after all the training and innovation regarding the forces and the security of the country.
What steps are being taken by Delhi police to strengthen women's security in recent years?
So there is Himmat app, which is launched for the women, and also there is a civil self-defense program that has been conducted for the girls, and also in the PCR vans, it is generally there is one woman personnel in the PCR to help the women.
It is said that big data is the new oil.
Yes.
Is it correct?
Yes, sir.
Why so?
So because now we are living in a world where the information is very important, and it is generating a lot of economic resources, and big data is a kind of a mine in which from which we can mine the lot of information which can be used for economic purposes. For example, as I've mentioned, that the companies are using for it customized ad, and also
Does Indian Constitution having sufficient provisions for safeguarding individual privacy?
So, in the 2017, Supreme Court has given the what should I say, that the right to privacy is the fundamental right under Article 21, and right now the data protection law has been in discussion in the Parliament.
So hello Ronak.
Hello.
So you teach children school,
Yes.
street children as a kind of a hobby. Why do you think that the status of education is still very poor in India?
So here, the education, if we talk about, we have a good number of poor people in our country, and also the situation of availability of the education, and it is in the form of the government schools. And we have seen that despite Delhi government school, the other government schools are in shambles. They have been very far away from their from the location, from the villages. So this is one of the issue, that the availability is the concern, and also the accessibility of the education is also is in shambles, because as we have seen during the COVID times, the lot of students don't have the mobile phones to access the education, and that is also created the divide. So the first of all, the infrastructure is there, and the outdated curriculum I can mention.
Okay, and in your opinion, is our government spending enough money on education, both central and the state governments?
I won't say that it is adequate, because we need to transform the education system, as the government has come up with the national education policy, in which it aims to spend the 6% of the GDP, and I think that the investment in the education should be increased to upgrade the infrastructure.
How much is the spending right now? Any rough idea?
Sir,
As percentage of GDP, if 6% is the target, how are we spending right now?
Sir, I think it's 3%, if I'm not wrong, sir.
Okay. Have you heard about the ASER report?
Yes, sir.
What is it related to?
So it is related to the education. It says that the class of this fifth student is not able to read the text of the second class.
The learning outcomes are not,
adequate.
Do you think that teacher education is also a missing aspect in our education system? That our teachers, especially in public sector schools, they are not trained enough to impart education to the children?
Yes, sir, it can be said, because
has the government any initiative in this regard? Are there any steps related to teacher education you are aware of?
Yes, sir. In the national education policy, it was said that the institution that has been training the teachers, it will be upgraded, and also the program of the B.Ed will be made 4 years, so that the teacher will be trained in a very well manner.
Has the implementation started?
No, sir.
Okay.
Not yet.
So you have worked with an NGO as well.
Yes, sir.
What is the legal mechanism of registering an NGO in India?
Sir, I'm not aware about it, but I'm aware about the foreign contribution regulation.
What is that?
So it is regulating the foreign funding of the NGOs, because it is said that some NGOs has been impeding the development of India through the protest, and they have been funded through the foreign countries to impede the developmental process.
Can you name some specific examples where protest movements have been accused?
Yes, sir. In the recently the Char Dham project Yatra project, the NGOs has been protesting, and as we know that the Char Dham project is very important for the security aspect of the country.
Okay.
So it can be one.
So that's one. Any other you are aware of?
Yes, sir. So it is said that some of the farmers' protests were also fueled by the NGOs.
You won a silver medal in a 100-meter race. What exactly was the event?
Yes, so it was in my 11th class.
Okay, in school. So you still practice, or it was just one of?
No, sir. I have to practice a lot for the physical efficiency test.
Okay. Do you know what is the national record for women in 100-meter race?
Yes, sir. So 10.61 seconds. Women, you asked for women, right, sir?
Yeah, 10.61. Is it 10.61?
Yes, sir.
Okay, who holds that record?
So, Elaine Thompson.
Okay, you are talking about the international. I was asking about Indian. Fine, it's also fine. Who is the Indian record holder?
So, if I'm not wrong, sir, Duty Chand.
You talked about cybercrime earlier.
Yes.
What are the legal provisions to tackle cybercrime in India?
Yes. So, we have a national cybercrime policy 2013, and also we have national protection. NPIIC, there is center, a national protection for the internal critical infrastructure protection center, I guess.
Okay, those are not legal. I was asking about the legal provisions. For example, if somebody is accused of a cybercrime, under what law are they held liable?
Sir, I've read it, but I'm not able to recall right now.
All right. No issues. Can you tell me Indo-Bangladesh border security challenges specific to Indo-Bangladesh border?
Yes. So first of all, the illegal migration that has been taking place, and also as the borders are porous and it is marked with the riverine topography, so it is a challenge to guard the borders. And also the drug trafficking is happening, and also the Bangladesh hosts some terrorist organizations which are threats for the India, and also it also supports some kind of northeast insurgencies as well.
Okay, is that state sponsored, or is that there are extra state actors within Bangladesh who are supporting?
So the non-state actors, because
Non-state
we have a
actors.
cordial relationship with the Bangladesh Prime Minister.
Okay, I think that's all from my side. Okay, all right.
All the
So
best.
should I